The NBA's popularity is at an all-time high. It is not because of the players. It's not because of these new teams. It's not because of the Clippers. It's not because of LeBron James. It's because of the rules. What do you mean? But I say, but it's because of the rules. A sport cements its popularity when fans are arguing about the rules. And I'm gonna give you an example for you to understand where I'm coming from. The NFL, year after year, is one of the, if not the most popular sport in America. Every year, we argue about what is a catch, what is a fumble. We argue about the tuck rule with Tom Brady. We argue about pass interference last year with the Saints and the Rams. We argue about goal line stance. We argue about is the knee down. We argue about so many calls in the NFL to the point where they have instituted challenges, which, it started like I was one or two. I believe they give you 2 or 3 challenges in the NFL. The NBA is ushering itself into a stratosphere of popularity in terms of the NFL. And that's because in the NBA now, we are arguing about rules. We are arguing about what is above the cylinder. We are arguing about what is a travel. We are arguing about when is a gather. What is a gather step? The step backs James Harden does. Is it legal? Is it illegal? When do we count the steps? Is it when he picks up the basketball or before he picks up the basketball? And now the NBA is so progressive and they're understanding this and they're picking up on this popularity. They're instituting challenges. The other night, Portland Trailblazers played the Dallas Mavericks. Damian Lillard swiped the ball, and they called foul. He went over to Coach Stotts. He said, call a challenge. Call that a challenge because I didn't foul him. It ended up reversing the call and making it a jump ball. And that was able to give Portland a way to eke out the game. Now, when I tell you this is innovative, and this will change the course of history of the popularity of the game of basketball, but also change the course of history, period. How many games have we seen in the past where a call wasn't made and that led to something, another play or a game-winning shot, or, there was a sequence of plays where if one call was made, hey, that turns the whole series around. I know Houston would like to have a challenge when they missed all those 20-something threes and they felt like they were getting fouled. I know the Utah Jazz would like a challenge when they came up against the Bulls, and there were a couple of times they felt like they got fouled and then didn't get the call. It felt like ref swallowed the whistle. That being said, the challenge is just another way that the rules is impacting the game, and it's going to give us another thing to argue about. We already had instant replay. And NFL was, really started with the instant replay, and that they worked this way out. Baseball started instituted now as well because they want to get the calls right, and they don't want the games to be marred by bad calls. They want the right call. This challenge in the NBA, this challenging stuff, it's big time. It's big time. We've seen so many games where they didn't call anything. I remember there was I believe it was a Christmas Day game, or it was a game in the regular season with the Rockets played the Golden State Warriors. Kevin Durant saved the basketball. Both of his legs were out of bounds. And they called it safe or whatever. They lost the game anyway because James Harden was a beast, hit a game winning shot. But if they had that challenge that negates the sequence, ball back to Houston. Negates any basket after that point thereafter. This is monumental. The basketball is... It's entering a phase where the rules are going to impact how we feel about the game more than the players are. And you see this in the NFL where half the time we're like, well, the reason they lost this game was it because of this play or was it because of that? Did the Raiders lose the Super Bowl because of the tuck rule? It's going to be like, in the NBA, did this team lose the series because of this, or they didn't have any more challenges, so that's why they lost the series because they made a boneheaded decision to challenge. Because just like the NFL, if you lose a challenge, you lose a timeout. So that's another thing that comes into play. Coach Stotts could have lost that timeout and subsequently lose the game. So I just want you guys to really peep the popularity of the NBA and the rules. Just the amount of rules we're arguing over now. What's a travel? What's considered above the cylinder? What's a foul? You know, I know there's no hand checking, but when is it okay to put the forearm on the guy? The other day I was playing pickup, and somebody was saying that, hey, you can't put your hands on me. I'm not putting my hands on you. I got the forearm on you when you're driving into me, because you're entering my space. So is that legal? So it's getting to the point where now we're gonna have rules about what's considered a basket, what's considered 3 seconds. Why are we considering it 3 seconds? You got the 8-second rule to get the ball up the court quicker. I believe it used to be 10 seconds. And then another thing is, last year they changed the offensive rebounds to 14 seconds. So all these little rules and nuances, how they're influencing the game, is just driving the popularity of the game up. This challenging stuff, I know a lot of teams wish they had a challenge flag back in the day, like early 2000s, especially with the Lakers, and they had that, referee, I believe it was Tom Dennehy or one of those guys. He was betting on games and stuff like that. I know they wish they had that challenge flag back in the day. The NBA actually should go back and all controversial calls in the last 50 years, they should issue a challenge flag and see would the call get reversed or not, and just see what their findings will be, because this is quite interesting. Hoops Junction, where Hoops meets Hoopla. Like, comment, subscribe.